introductions. Make sure that you have grabbed something to write with and something to write on. I literally just have my daughter's like Princess Elsa pencil. That's what I'm jamming with today, and a piece of computer paper. But we are going to get started, guys. Final session of the day. Thank you for hanging with us all day. Thank you for coming. Thank you for giving up part of your Saturday to spend time with us today. I really genuinely appreciate it, and I'm touched by everybody's presence today. All right, so Melissa Hildebrand is going to join us for our art therapy today. She's a licensed mental health counselor. She graduated from Austin Peay University in 2014 with a bachelor's in psychology, and in 2016 with a master's in mental health counseling. Her specialty is working with trauma and in using counseling approaches that help strengthen the mind-body connection. She studied studio art at Western Washington University and continues to use art in her own journey to release stress and find self-expression. She enjoys incorporating the mind-body connection with clients as well. In addition to using art therapy with her clients, she is also a personal trainer and working on completing a trauma-informed yoga certification with YogaFit. She teaches yoga in individual and group therapy sessions. She has a passion for helping clients find their unique path of healing and wellness. And her mantra is, one size does not fit all. Melissa, with that, the time is yours. Thank you again for spending your Saturday with us.
Absolutely. I'm excited and honored to be here today. I'm going to just take a second and share my screen here, so bear with me. Okay. Oh. Struggle is real today. All right, I'll give it just a minute to load here. Can everyone see that? Okay, awesome. All right, so first of all, I'm honored and excited to be here today. Something I'm extremely passionate about is creativity. Sometimes when we think about creativity, we think about creating artwork or a painting. And that is one aspect to it, but creativity can also start in our minds with visualizations. It can help us come up with different solutions to our problems. We can be creative with movement and self-expression. Creativity can help us learn more about ourselves and express ourselves. And what I love most about creativity is it can reduce tension and anxiety, which there's actually been some research on art and music therapy and how it's really promising in helping those with neurodegenerative disorders. Because if you think about it, whenever we're more relaxed, we're able to focus better and it can shift our mood. Move to the next slide here. And with creativity, there's no right or wrong way to do that. When you're focusing on expressing yourself, the best way to do that is to trust the process and to try to give yourself permission to not judge yourself as you're creating, whether it's thinking something different, whether it's creating something on paper, whether it's trying a new movement. So we're going to do some hands-on things today, and I'm excited about that. We're going to get creative with visualization. We're going to get creative with pen to paper, and we're going to use some music as well. And again, this is not about creating something that looks really pretty. In fact, we're probably going to be creating something that looks really chaotic, and that's okay. This isn't about how it looks. It's about learning about yourself and expressing yourself fully in the process. So this can be fun. It doesn't have to be super serious. So we're going to do 3 different exercises today. The first one's just going to be our warm-up, where we're kind of easing into this process. The second one is going to be with some music, and we're going to have some self-expression. And the third one's going to be focused more on relaxation. So in order to kind of help make this experience as beneficial as possible, I wrote down some things that we can kind of try to keep in mind. The first one being just notice and try to be patient with yourself. Just noticing your experience. The second one is don't be a bully to yourself. Try to not judge. Instead of judgment, maybe try to look at what's happening with curiosity. And to 3, just try. Maybe look at it like an experiment. What have you got to lose? There's really no expectation here. And for 4, it's again kind of noticing. You're gathering information about yourself. Art and music and visualization, you can learn a lot more about yourself sometimes than if you're just talking. Sorry, it's not going to the next slide. Oh, there we go. No, it's jumped ahead. All right. There we go. Okay, I might just need to keep it on the screen today. So our first one's gonna be a Scribble Warmup, which it sounds exactly as it is. We're gonna scribble today. So first, before we scribble, we're gonna take a couple deep breaths. We're gonna take some breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. And I want us to kind of picture or visualize if there was a scanner scanning you from head to toe, and it was scanning for any sort of tightness or tension, where would it find that tightness or tension? We tend to store tension in our bodies. Sometimes it might manifest as a weight in your stomach, a tightness in your chest, intrusive thoughts kind of going in a loop. So where are you holding that tension today? And once you locate that and find it, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give it a shape. We're going to give it a form. So if it's easier to kind of close your eyes during this exercise, you can do that. So thinking about, let's say you find some tension in your chest. If you were to give it a form, would it be a circle? Would it be a square? Would it be a color? Would it be multicolors? Would it be cold or warm, heavy or light? And just think about what it would look like. And the third part of this exercise is we get to scribble the tension out, which can be really fun. So if you have pen and paper, I want you to think about taking this tension off of your body and onto the paper. So maybe you're scribbling really fast, maybe you're scribbling really slow, maybe you're making circles or squares, whatever it is. And if you don't have paper, I want you to kind of picture yourself taking that tension off wherever you're feeling it and putting on the paper and picturing yourself, scribbling the tension away. And just notice what your body's experiencing as you do this. Does the tension release at all? And again, there's no right or wrong for this. If it's difficult for you to release tension today, that's okay too. We're all in different places. But if we can release a little bit, it can be a little bit more relieving. And we'll have some time at the end to kind of discuss your experience, or if you have any questions about this. I would love to hear kind of what people's experiences are with this. So that's our first exercise. That's just to kind of get us warmed up and kind of checked in a little bit. This second exercise is called pencil drawing or pencil dancing. And so we're going to dance with our pencils today, or pens, or whatever device you're using here. So I'm going to play about a minute's worth of 3 different songs, and they have very different rhythms, beats. They might bring out different emotions. And so we're just going to notice. We're going to listen to the music. We're going to notice how it feels. Maybe notice if you have any sensations on the inside, if it elicits any sort of emotional response. And as we're listening, you get to dance on the paper. And, you know, maybe thinking about it like a figure skater on an ice rink where maybe the blades are short and choppy, or maybe it's long and flowy and circular. So whatever kind of makes sense to you. And again, if you don't have paper or pen, this is something that you can do in your mind, just thinking about how it feels and what that would look like if it were a shape. You can even do that with your hands. You can move. It can be fun. And something to remember as well is that there's no good or bad emotions. They're just there to give us information. Some emotions may be more comfortable than others. And you might notice that during these songs that, you know, you might notice that, oh, I'm not really comfortable with the emotion this is bringing up. And so this is a good chance to check in and just notice that about yourself. All right, so we're gonna do the first song here. We're gonna listen to about a minute. And again, just, you can draw, visualize, move, do all of the above, and just notice. Can you hear that? Okay. So maybe thinking about what the lines would look like, if there's shapes, colors. All right. So that song had a very distinct flavor to it. So hopefully you were able to get some sort of picture or some sort of sense of how you responded to that song. So next, we're going to move to a different song. And the energy with this one might be very different. So just notice how you feel listening to this song and what shapes kind of come up, what movement you think it makes, and what that would look like. All right. So I'm sure you noticed that there's a very different flavor with this one as opposed to the first one. So just, again, just noticing, just giving yourself that time to kind of check in. How did that feel? And to try not to judge, but also noticing that you might kind of prefer a different song type or emotion that it brings up. We tend to prefer different emotions over others. So we're going to do this last one and just notice again, if you're drawing, what shapes it sounds like. You're dancing on paper. This one's hard not to dance to. All right, that was our third and last song. So again, just checking in. Those are three very different songs. Maybe they each brought up different emotions. Maybe they each brought up multiple emotions. Noticing, was it comfortable, uncomfortable? Was this difficult or easy for you to come up with shapes? And did you prefer a certain song, emotion, or rhythm? It's kind of fun to learn stuff about ourselves. Okay, so this last one, I'm also very passionate about. I'm passionate about creating relaxation, which art and visualization can really aid in this. So this last one, we're going to picture ourselves. If we were to take a picture of ourselves in the place that you felt best. And maybe this is a place that's real. Maybe it's somewhere you've been before. Maybe it's somewhere where you imagine. Maybe it's somewhere where you've, seen on TV or something. You're like, oh man, I want to go there. Or it could be a mixture of all of that. Maybe it's the beach or the mountains. So again, just kind of letting yourself settle in, to your chair, or just kind of relax a little bit. Take some deep breaths and just think about, if you could be in a place that just felt the best, where would it be? If we took a picture of you, what would it look like? So I want to give us a couple of minutes here to just think and make this experience more real. So thinking about, if you're in this place and you're to look around, what do you see? Are you alone? Or maybe you have a pet there. What colors do you notice? Is there a breeze? Is it warm out? Is it cold? How does your feet feel? Are you walking around? Are you lying down? Is the sun setting or is it rising? Are you indoors or outdoors? Are there any smells? Is there anything that you hear? And as you look around in this place a little bit more, just allowing yourself to relax a little more, And noticing, again, if there's anything that you may have missed before. Noticing any body sensations that you might be having. Maybe you feel a lightness. Maybe you're noticing emotions that you have. And if you have pen and paper, feel free to draw what you're seeing. And it doesn't have to look pretty. It just can kind of represent the visualization that you have. You can write words, you can draw symbols, and just get some of this off on paper. And if you don't, just continue to enjoy the visualization. Allowing ourselves this space to be creative can make us feel really relaxed. And just giving yourself another minute to just look around and just enjoy any relaxation that you might be experiencing. So as we're slowly coming back to the room, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, looking around, if you were in your visualization, pretty hardcore. And just noticing how your body feels now. Sometimes it's harder to relax than others, and that's okay. But if you were able to find any little bit of relaxation, know that that's available to you, even on your own. You can practice these things on your own and find that same relaxation. So that's the end of the exercises, but it doesn't have to end here. This is something that, you can explore with, kind of using different music and drawing and visualizations to kind of help find self-expression and relaxation. So that's it for my end. I'm not sure if we're going to questions or comments or.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna stop recording, although I don't, oh, there it is, there's my button. So if anybody wanted to share